We've worked with a lot of clients and we've looked at a lot of email setups. And especially when it comes to flows, what we kind of see is that people will just get in there and they'll spend some time trying to get everything set up and then experiment a bit and usually make quite a big mess of things. And it's good to spend some time to learn how to do it, to know, to try and test and things. But typically what happens is that gets very confusing. And I think it's something where, I think developers know that really, really well. It's like after you work on some code and then you go away for a few months, and then you come back, like if you haven't commented it, if you haven't, organized it well, if you weren't really careful about how you did that and to take very good notes about what you're doing, it's very hard to go back into those very technical things and figure out like what you were actually doing. So that's what we found over and over again, is that when you go in there, you don't, the clients, they don't know what they were doing. Things were really hard to figure out, and then eventually you kind of have to start over, which is too bad because you lose quite a bit of not lose, but let's say you don't get to build on the data that's in there when you start new flows. So your future self will really appreciate and will thank you that if you just keep things simple. So it's fine to experiment and you can try some things, but it's better to create a new flow and experiment inside of there, and then take the learnings of it and then add it to like the main one. Or to, when you're done, just make sure you like delete things. Some things that are very helpful, just to make sure you name your flows carefully. Don't just like copy them and then don't rename them. Make notes somewhere. And then what I suggest and what we've done in this program is just use Figma and like create the entire overview of your flows in Figma, like which we've done. And that's something that you have now and that you can use, but keep that updated. And then when you make updates and things like that, you just will have, you'll see what you've done inside of there, and you can put comments and those kind of things. So, and then you can fairly easily transfer that to different email tools if you want or whatnot. But it's really just try to keep it as simple as possible. Don't get too tricky inside of there. Know what tests you're doing. Put all of those things, externalize them all in another system. Make notes about it, and just do everything that you can to when you do spend some time in there to keep it simple and keep it documented, so your future self will not have a difficult time when you want to come back to it and you need to make some changes.